ONeil's back with us this hour. Larry's garden. Right. He's got some trees with him.
Yeah, Japanese maple, you know, they're a beautiful plant. Every garden should have
and
one.
You love these things. You talk about them a lot.
They're a great looking plant. You can watch them grow. They're a spring, summer, fall, winter, you know, plant. They have unusual texture and color.
Yeah.
And, you know, people have always said you can't grow them down here, but that's not true. Okay, but
don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them. But here's a beautiful one. This is a small one called varieties. It's a heat-tolerant Japanese maple. This is not just true that not all of them grow down here well, but this is a beautiful tree. This is a dissecta. It really develops into a beautiful, wide, weeping tree. This is as tall as it's going to get. And, you know, the type of growing conditions, the greens are more tolerant to sun. You can put them in the sun if you get a little bit more water to them. Here's one right here, Yoko. And this is another weeping dissecta, a little larger leaf. You know, one of the great things about this one is that its fall color is just, you know, brilliant, brilliant red.
Oh, I would love to see that.
It's just, and then the nice green trunk.
How big will they get?
Winter. This is as tall as it gets, and then it kind of just gets out. The weepers, once you designate this point here, it's going to stay, get that height, and then it's going to get wider and wider and wider.
Do you keep it in a pot, or do you plant it in your yard?
If we want to plant them in a yard, we're just growing these up to size right now.
Okay.
And then we have some gigantic ones just in case, you know, this is a lot easier to bring in.
Yeah.
But, you know, here's another one. I love this one. It's called Chinzu.
It's pretty
it's a beautiful color. Yeah. This is the great thing about this tree was when it comes out in the spring, it's brilliant orange. And then it kind of, you can see the orange overtones in this one. And this is a very sun-tolerant tree. It's a medium-sized Japanese maple. And then it will fade to green, and then all of its stems will stay red and then an orange fall color.
Oh, that's pretty.
I mean, they have some phenomenal colors. You know, it's a great tree to plant by the window. You can sit there as you're having your coffee in the morning and watch each season how it changes and it matures. It's a lifetime tree. Here's another one that's this is an interesting one. I don't know if you can get a close-up of that one, but it's a very fine foliage, very fine, but stays more upright and dense. It can be trimmed in like a topiary if you like that look on them. You know, trimming the lower leaves off and then getting that cluster there. But it's a great Okushima.
And you can't tell because it's behind the table, but it's actually 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
how tall do these things get?
Right, they can get, some of them say around 4 foot. But here, that's a great question. Here's a big one. Now this is a big Japanese maple. Yeah. Big leaf. You can see how big the leaves are on this one. This one getting around 35 foot tall. It's a fast grower. You know,
why do people think it's so hard to grow these?
Because they're not normally thought as heat tolerant, but the right ones can tolerate the heat. You know,
you can get it done.
Exactly. You just got to trial and error. Trial and error, you know, it's a great thing. But some of the great things you need to do for them to make sure they get started off, you want to make sure that you hit them, go to Ace, get some Alaskan fertilizer, Alaskan fish emulsion. This really gets the root system going. They need a little bit more care, you know, fertilizer, make sure they got an organic area, make sure they get good water. You know, here right now, this is, when you're planting one, this Job stuff is on sale at Ace for only like $3. I mean, it's normally $6, but this has got all the trace elements and mycorrhizas. Mix it in the hole, make sure you water the hole really well, and then water once every couple days, at least for a year to make sure. Then a little bit of Miracle Rose fertilizer. This helps them get well rooted. You know, some of the great combination plants, you know, that we can plant with them to really accentuate their foliage in the shady areas is hosta. And we have also a Japanese azalea. You know, we were talking about those last week. I mean, we were selling them right here on the thing. But this is a wakabusu, and it's you know, blooming late in the season all the way till June. But, you know, Japanese maples make a great garden. You know, it can keep them just simple. You know, maple, a little bit of mulch, and a few plants, and you're on the way to a great garden.
We're going to plug your website right now for more information about gardening. Log on to Larry's Garden. And you can also call him with questions at the number on your screen. Remember, you can always hear him on the radio, too. He's on WOKV on the AM dial, and he's also on 106.5 on the FM dial. Thank you so much, Larry.
All right.
Still to come.